Hello, good day, everyone, to another Settlers of Catan universe video gameplay. So I'm 57 cards, and we're playing on my phone today, so it's a little bit different view, and we should be good to go from here. So we got three other players. I don't know much about any of these guys. Seems like I have a couple of newer players, Angie and Paul Arbahi, and Hayek I think has a bit more experience. So whose turn is it? It's Blue's turn to act. I'm going to be third in this particular game. So let's take a look at the board. So what we notice right off the bat is Ore has one decent spot of 4, an 11, and a 2. So relatively low ore board. Wheat, second, has a 3, 11, 12, and 9. So also, it seems like cities right off the bat are not going to be plentiful. With only a 9 and a 9 wheat being the high wheat, and the 4 ore being the larger wheat section. I'm not sure what's taking Blue so long here. They need to go ahead and click a spot. Okay, they figured they're going to go with the highest producing ore. They're going to get a little bit of sheep. Sheep on this board is fairly plentiful. You got an 8, a 5, a 10, and then a 3 down in the bottom there. And our bricks actually are pretty good as well, with the 5 and then the 4 and the 10, which are equal with 3 dots. And wood, of course, this is a high wood board. Now the wood port, let's see where it is. It's connected to that brick area, which could be a good connection if you take that 8, 5, 10 sheep and 2 bricks, and then partner that with a nice high producing wood spot. You can shoot on down and get the wood port, and then work with that for the game. So green is taking a while here as well. Seems like very slow start to this game to choose. It is a confusing board, so it's hard to figure out exactly what you want to do. The game speeds up though, I promise. He almost wastes all of his time. Let's go Hayek. So he chose exactly what I was suggesting, except that he didn't point his road down to the wood port. That's surprising. So my options here, basically this first settlement is going to indicate whether I'm going to get ore or wheat. And my first thought is that I'm really eyeing that sheep port down at the bottom right. I eye it because this, if I start off with a pretty good sheep, the best sheep in the game, a decent brick, because the brick was the good brick was just taken, then I can ultimately connect. I can take that 5, 10, 9 sheep and wood in the right hand side of the island and point that down and go to the sheep port. That's sort of what I'm eyeing right now. I have a backup plan that if that's taken, I can always do the 3-to-1 ports. Also, I have any of those high producing wood spots are going to be good for me. So in a little bit of a surprising choice, yellow selects the 2, 9, 10. They're attached to the best wheat, which is a good one. They're attached to a good brick. They have all the resources, but their ore is very low, and they're not sure if they're going to be able to get into that 1194, which has a very high likelihood of being taken. So I have a lot of options here. I can take just a basic wood. I can take the wood with the best producing wheat, get a little more sheep, and just go without ore. But I really like this right-hand side. It's away from everybody, not there's no one I'm impacting by going there. And if I get down to that sheep port relatively quickly, I can survive without all of the resources, without having any ore, having low wheat. And in particular, I'm not really a big threat at the beginning, so I shouldn't be blocked all that much because of the fact that I'm not producing much ore, I'm not producing much wheat, and people really don't need sheep and wood off in the early parts of the game. However, I do dominate the sheep. So as the game progresses, trading for sheep is definitely going to be one of my advantages. I have the top 3 producing sheep spots on the board. So all the players recognize the importance of wheat and I think overvalue the importance of brick in this early part of the game. Blue instantly rolls a 7 and surprisingly blocks green. I would have thought they would have blocked yellow since they are racing against yellow to get to that 1194. Maybe he was colorblind. I'm not sure why blue blocked green, and green instantly pays back blue, steals from him. And I don't really have anything going on. It's going to take me a little while to get situated. So luckily, I'm out of the center fray. Not going to get challenged really much at all. My roads are very safe off to the coast. And so, okay, now I pull up the individual people. Somebody's already given away ore, which I'm excited. I like the fact that they're interested in trading, giving away wheat and ore. I love that. I'm actually considering this already, except that it doesn't do that much for me. Really, all right now, it just gives me a development card because I'm not going to wait till I get 3 ores to get my city. So it wasn't enough to entice me to go for it, so I decided to hold off. Now I'm here with my 4 sheep and 1 wood. Now 2 woods. Likely all I'm going to do is trade in those sheep 4-1. I don't think anybody is going to want sheep yet. I just got a lucky roll. Now I have my wheat that I need, which I was really concerned. I'm concerned that that's going to be a difficult part of this early stage. I only have a 3. So I've gotten that already taken care of. Nobody wants to trade a brick. I didn't think they would, so I'm going to go ahead and move on over down to that sheep port, which is really a huge part of my game. Now I considered going over to that 3-1 port at the 8 sheep just because green is there as well and I may need to compete with them. But I can still potentially sneak over and get that if I get this 2-1 port for sheep secured first. I just have to see how the rolls go. So I decided to go ahead and just secure my number 1 important move, which is to get to this sheep port, especially with the fact that the other 3 seem to be fighting for that center position, that 1194. So I'm going to go ahead and let them fight it out, and I could get lucky and get my port pretty quickly. So I already know that they were asking for wood. I have an extra wood. I saw that they had the 10 rolled. I was pretty sure I could get it right off the bat, so I'm already secured that I can get it. Now I'm going to check to see what they would offer, because they are competing, the 2 of them, both blue and brown or yellow, whatever you want to call them. So let's see what they offer. So I see that blue is offering me a 3-1. Of course, that's perfectly good for me. I'll go ahead and take that. jump on in, get the extra 2 cards. I would have been happy just to trade 1 for 1, but why not go ahead and see if they would offer more. So it sort of screws yellow a little bit, except that yellow has, of course, the potential to do it herself. So she tries to trade away a wheat to get the wood. No more woods for you, sorry. Tries 2 wheats. That's actually a really good deal. I would have done it, but I don't have any wood for you. So she does 4 for 1, getting rid of all her wheat, just so she can secure that spot, which is a huge spot for her. Now, blue still has a backdoor way to get in there if they get enough wood and brick. Do they decide to try and get it? Let's see if they try and hold on. So they go ahead and try and buy a development card. Good idea. I would have done the same thing in the hopes that they can get a year of plenty or road building. A road building would jump them right into that spot. So if they get lucky, they can still get that 4, 9, 11 wheat and ore. Green starts to contest me in that my second desired settlement spot, and that's bad news for me. That means that either I'm going to just fight with them to get it, or I just go ahead and admit defeat, allow them to take that spot and move on up to the 3-1 port with the 4 brick. So green is trying to take advantage of the fact that they have a lot of brick. This is hilarious. So I actually got a perfect roll for myself now that I have a 2-1 port. I don't even need to offer any trades. Nobody really needs sheep right now. Not a lot of wood out there. I can go ahead and take over green's spot. That's the power of getting this port so quickly, as it allowed me to then expand to the next level. Plus the fact that I was able to trade 3 for 1, I already earned myself a few extra cards. The much needed wheat, the extra sheep, ultimately gave me exactly what I needed so that I could do that extra road and settlement. Brick and ore was actually a good trade for me, but the only reason I didn't do it, well, no, I did do it. I would have not done it because it's the only 2 cards I have, and right now I see myself as being the target. So as soon as the 7 rolls, I'm likely to lose them. Well, exactly that happens. So let's see if people are pissed. I decided to go ahead and apologize to green for taking their spot. See if I can re-earn a little bit of goodwill rather than them just looking at me as a mean SOB. So anyway, so I send over a small, you're not sorry, Hayek. Okay, yeah, maybe not, but I actually do feel bad. I mean, yeah, if it's a computer, then no big deal. I don't mind taking it. Oh, he actually got a year of plenty. So what does he do with his year of plenty? Does he build a settlement or does he go after a city? It looks like, based on the fact that he already built a road, he probably is building a settlement down at the 8-3. But we all played to win. Yeah, you're right. So he seems to be accepting the fact that we're all trying to win. So blue decides to go ahead and build a road and a settlement with that year of plenty. Angie got that great expansion for her. She's now got the 9-11-4. She's set up to essentially be dominant in knights and in cities. Well, I wouldn't say dominant, but she has the most likely chance to build cities if 4s roll. Now 10 rolls, that's good for everybody. Gives some bricks and gives me 2 sheep. And let's see here. So I point my road over to the next available opening. I do this, one, because it continues my road rather than separating and going off to either the wheat port, which I don't need on the east coast, or going to the north with the other 3-to-1 port with the 4 brick. I don't see those as being valuable spots, and I'm getting enough wood and brick and or trading in my sheep that I feel like I can extend my road out to the north side and potentially win that 3-11-6, which is actually a great spot for me. It gives me some ore, gives me more places that it could be unblockable. So I'm actually enthusiastic to head over that direction, even though it's going to take me a little bit longer. 6 is rolled, only gives yellow some wood. Another 3, so I'm already getting some resources to help me buy development cards or potentially head towards a city. And she's offering a wheat, tempting, because then I'm even closer to building my city. I think I decide to go ahead and give that to her. Yes, I do. And again, it gives me a little goodwill. Sheep is it's an advantage I have. I have a lot of sheep. Others don't really have a lot of sheep. Unfortunately, a 7's rolled. It's bad for blue. They lose half their cards. It's bad for me likely too, because I'm likely to get stolen from right now. So let's see what blue does. Blue drops... Blue drops 2 wood, a wheat, and a sheep. And who do they block? They block me on my wood. I don't know why they blocked my 9 wood. That's a very interesting spot. They could block my 8 sheep, higher producing. It's shared with somebody else, and it's exactly the same as the 9. I would get 2 sheep are the same as getting 1 wood, so it was a very strange choice for blue to block that. At any rate, that's what happened. Green chooses to block me as well and steal from me, and that's again expected. 3 7s in a row. So my blocking right here, I want to limit the wheats that are out there, but a lot of wheats are already out there. So either I want to slow down the ores, or I want to slow down the spot that everybody is sitting on with the 10 brick. And the reason I elect to choose the 10 brick is because it doesn't show favorites. It doesn't show like I'm targeting anybody. And I just decide to steal from yellow, even though I don't see them as the biggest threat. But mainly because I thought I could get either a wheat or an ore. And I ended up getting a wood, so I didn't get either. They play their night card. They should have played it first. Probably forgot. And again, they block my wood, which is a very strange block in my opinion. In addition, she... I forgot what I was going to say. Let's see. Okay, so 8 was rolled. See, that one should have been blocked. They should have blocked me already. I'm trying to offer wood. Okay, so this is why he was especially targeting me, is because he's making his way back up to the spot that I'm heading. 12 is rolled. Nobody gets anything. Hayek builds down at the bottom corner. Sorry about the screen. Ooh, a 7 is rolled. So now I specifically want to target blue because I am in a race with them. Whether they realize it or not, I'm sure they see that I'm there. So I go ahead and steal from blue. And I get a wheat, which I'm okay with. And I decide to go ahead and buy a development card because I really right now care about getting that spot, and if I can protect myself with either a knight or get a road building or Year of Plenty or even a monopoly, I can potentially secure that spot. Trading a wheat for a brick, not interested. So we're square in the middle of the game right now. I feel, even though there's no clear favorite right now, I feel pretty good about where I'm at, my position. I have slowed down green's potential. Yellow has slowed down blue's potential, and I have a chance to really stifle blue's game if I get over there and block him. So I definitely am not going to trade with blue. If blue builds a settlement there, he could be a fairly big threat, considering the fact that he now would have lots of ways to get wood. He can keep expanding up to that north. So I see it as a pretty important spot for me to get to. Green decides to go back the other way, down to the wood port. I roll another 8, so I got lots of sheep right now. I have the potential. I'm so close. I actually could almost get a city depending on what I steal. So I decide to go ahead. I take a look at things. Okay, if I trade in 3, if I trade in the sheep, I can get 3 ores, or I could get 2 ores and 1 wheat. So all I need is either a wheat, a wheat, or an ore, and I have myself a city. So I decided to go ahead and play my knight and be aggressive, see if I can get 1 more wheat or ore. And I don't get it. And I also figured that pretty much anything I get will give me the opportunity to get this settlement. So this was a point where I felt like pretty much anything I got, if I got a brick or a wood, it would give me the opportunity to get that spot. If I got a wheat or a ore, I could get a city. So pretty much anything I got except for a sheep would allow me to get that spot. So that's why I took from Angie, because I didn't think she had any sheep in her hand. I thought she only had either wood or wheat or ore. So they're looking for ore, and I just really stifled blue's game. So now they're stuck into that bottom corner where they're already blocked in their expansion. So their opportunities to get longest road are really hurt. I have an opportunity to even connect my settlements to get longest road by just wrapping around the far right corner of the island. So I actually really like my position right now, even though I don't have any cities yet. I'm now stuck at 5 settlements. So it will depend on the rolls. Let's see how it goes. Alright. So I have, in this point in the game, I have 5 points, and I have a number of different paths I can take. I can either choose to wait out my cards and try and get a city. At which point, if I get a city relatively soon, I'm probably going to be unstoppable. In terms of, it'll be hard to block me. I'd likely upgrade my 5, 9, 10 so that any 5 is rolled is 2 sheep, any 10 is rolled is 3 sheep, and a 9 would give me 2 wood, which is still helpful. So that's likely what I'm going to upgrade. However, what I notice is right now there's not a lot of development cards out there. that have been purchased. No one has a development card. There's only been 2 knights played, one by blue and one by yellow. So I feel like if I start getting development cards, I can put myself into the category of taking the largest army. In addition, if I'm able to grab the largest army, what I also noticed is nobody is decided to outright secure the longest road. And with that as a backdoor option, I could take over largest army, get the longest road, and then secure 1 point elsewhere. Well, that elsewhere is already in my hand. I already picked up a victory point. So that makes the option of getting no city, victory point, and longest road and largest army a potential winning possibility. And it would be relatively sneaky in the sense that I will only look like I have 5 points for a long time, and then all of a sudden I can jump out and play my knight card and take over the longest road, and it's game over. So that actually seems to be like the path I'm going to choose, considering, in this stage of the game with the way people are playing. I'm not opposed to getting a city if a city comes. However, if a city does not present itself relatively easily, I'm going to be perfectly happy just buying some development cards and then waiting till I get the knights and ultimately take the longest road. Blue down in the bottom corner there has 4 roads built. They can take over longest road if they want to, but they only have a potential to get about maybe 8 roads connected. And I have the potential to really outdo that with my chance of linking my settlements together. Green also has the potential to threaten the longest road by connecting their 2 settlements along the bottom coast. And they have the material to do it. They have good wood and good brick. Green right now, though, is only stuck at 3, and they really have been hurt in the early part of this game. Really, I should be the one who's being blocked right now. So right now, my thought is, because I should be blocked, I don't want to put myself out in front by building the longest road even more. I'm already a threat. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and just start securing some more development cards. And that's what I go ahead and do. I trade in my wood 3-1 to get an ore so that I can get 2 more knights. So right now I got my second knight in hand. All I need is 1 more knight, and then I can build 1 road and 2 knights. That was another tempting trade for me. I think I said yes to it, but they didn't accept it. Not wanting to trade with me at this time. Makes sense. Found someone to do it at 1-for-1 anyway. Green. Green was willing to give up a wheat and help out yellow. I think they want yellow to go ahead and take longest road. I think green is wise and realizes that I'm getting close. I have 2 development cards in hand. They could already be 2 knights. The longest road hasn't really been secured yet, so I could easily just take a quick victory if I have 2 knights in hand. Blue's turn. Blue is also only at 3 points, 4 cards in hand. There goes a bunch more wheats. The 3 has really rolled a lot this game. He's unable to do anything. Moves on. Green has a lot of cards, still only has 3 points. 10 is rolled, it's still blocked. So they all miss their brick. Only blue gets 1 sheep. I get 2 sheep. So green secures his settlement. Now he has a good port for him since he does have that 6 down in the bottom. And he cities up in the same time. That's a good turn for green. Both getting him that much needed city and the much needed port. So green is now probably my most serious threat. At this point, I could again continue to save up, but I'm going to go ahead and continue with my plan to try and get largest army. I figure if I get 1 more knight, I'm right at victory. I have 1 road in hand. If I build that 1 road, now here's an important point right now. I decided to go ahead and keep my road in hand rather than playing it. Because if I play my road, it gives away my strategy. Because right now, if I build a road, I can't build a settlement. So I'm indicating with my play that taking the longest road is one of my options. If I don't play it, then I'm not quite giving all the information to those that are playing against me. So I'm essentially, I wouldn't say it's playing possum, but I'm withholding information. I'm withholding as much information as possible. And I don't offer any trades because I don't want to tell people what I have in my hand. I don't want to tell them what I'm looking at getting. So I'm just being very secretive right now. I don't feel that there's a huge necessity in trying to trade. I can win fairly easily now that I have the extra victory point. Well, there was a quick phone cutoff, and in that process, I played a knight, tried to steal a certain card, and ended up only getting another wheat, I believe. And ultimately, I bought a development card. I played my knight, bought a development card, hoping to get another knight, and I got a victory point instead. So I didn't get exactly what I want, but now I'm at a very weird position where I'm sitting with 3 victory points, and all I really need is 1 more knight card to secure this game. And I'm actually pretty close to winning by just building 3 more roads too. So I have a couple different win conditions. Blue, whether they're playing defensively or offensively, I think it's a mixture of both, steals all the wheat and gets their city. It's a good spot for them, a high producing ore spot. 7 is rolled, and now their 8 is pretty strong in that bottom corner there. They get, I think, 5. Was it 5 or 4? It might be 4 wood. 7 is rolled. Let's see who green targets. So this is an interesting point. Is I still look like I only have 5 points. I only have 2 knights. I have 3 development cards. Yellow has 5 points, and blue has 5 points. So in the view of everybody else, we're all actually tied. And funny enough, he steals from yellow, even though truthfully, as I'm literally 1 round away from winning. So I see if I can get an ore. 2 is just rolled. I know that Angie has been looking for brick. I just wanted to double check if she would trade away her ore she just got. Or green if they wanted to do it for that brick. Nobody does. That's fine. I move on. I'll wait till I get my sheep. Wait till I get my development card. So I got a development card in hand. But what I'm also eyeing right now is, because my sheep is flexible to be whatever it wants, is if I get enough sheep, I can also overtake the longest road. And now I have 2 brick in hand. Now I have 2 roads in hand. I'm still at 7 cards. I'm not in danger of losing half. So all I really need is if I can trade one sheep for a brick or one sheep for a wood, that's already going to get me close to having game. So I'm right now very, very close to sneaking out a victory by stealing longest road. Let's see what green rolls. An 11 giving me an ore in the top portion of the island. So now I have enough to buy a development card. Wheat in the top corner is 12 is a wheat in the top corner nobody has. So I'm forced to go ahead and buy a development card rather than building 2 roads, because 2 roads doesn't do anything other than make me a huge target. It threatens yellow, and yellow is going to be forced to build roads. And if yellow doesn't build roads, green is going to connect his roads in the bottom. And I don't want him to connect his roads because I want to be able to sneak along his road. So I buy a development card, initially hoping for a knight. A knight is an easy victory. I don't get a knight, I get a road building. Road building means I have a really good opportunity to take over longest road. So right now, I have what I need to take over longest road, as long as yellow doesn't build another road. Now, yellow needs to build something here. She either needs to build a settlement or she needs to build a road, because green is threatening her position, her expansion down in the 6-2. Unfortunately, from her trading, it looks like she's going the wrong route. She's trying to build a city. So she's going to essentially give up her spot down there by trying to trade for a city. I don't know what she has in her hand, but maybe she doesn't have the material to build a settlement. At any rate, she decides to go ahead and get a development card. Maybe that's what she's more concerned about, buying a development card. So I get 1 sheep. I still have the win in hand, depending on what green does. So green gets 1 more sheep. They have a lot in hand. They might be able to connect their roads. So he builds a road and passes. So that's game. As long as there's nothing I can do, I'm gonna win. So now I have 4 roads in hand, and I only need 3. So I use longest road, trade 2 to 1 for 1 more road, and that's the game. What I found interesting in this game was the power of sheep. A lot of times sheep is seen as the least sought after resource. However, it can be pretty powerful if you are the controller of most of the sheep on the board. It really limits others' potential to buy development cards. Sure, they can build cities. Sure, they can build other things. But without sheep, you're limited on building development cards. And so that's actually pretty huge, because then if you're in control of development cards, you're in control of a huge portion of the game. And I think that was really what allowed me to win this game, was being in control of the development cards.